Hello and welcome. In this second video about VectorStyler repeaters, we'll explore some of the many ways to apply colors in repeaters. So we're going to explore all the colorizer modes, which are very, very powerful. So let's get started. So we'll start by creating a repeater like we did last time. We'll pick two shapes. We'll apply some colors on these shapes. Let's pick a blue here. Okay. We'll take a third shape to also demonstrate. So we'll use it to create the repeater. Assign it another color. So now we go to our repeater and we're setting the create mode in the largest object. Selecting all the shapes and create the repeater within. So you see the repeater is by default taking the color of the shapes. And these remain, of course, fully editable, so you can change it. So that's the first mode where you have nothing to do with, but just use the color that was used for the original shape. Now, if you want the repeater to apply some colors based on each shape, index, or position in the repeater, this is where the colorizer comes into the picture. So we look, there are different modes, and we try to explore some of them. So we explore the first mode, which is object content. So here, the repeater is using the containing object color. So we had set a color of green for this big rectangle. We can change it, let's say, to maybe a gradient. And you see that it takes it applies the color of the enclosing shape. So that's a nice and easy, quick way to create, especially if you're creating from a picture, you want to have a dot pattern, you can easily use this mode in a couple of clicks to make it work. But you'll see in a moment there are much more flexible and powerful ways to do that with more control. The next mode is noise. I won't spend much time here because it's nice, but it's kind of difficult to control, I find. I will show you a much better way to control noise in a moment. Gradient. So this will apply a gradient and also a quick way to do that. So you can, for instance, change that to concentric, and you will see the changes apply. And you can adjust your gradient here to control the color of each of the repeater cells. I'll skip this one for the moment because that's the one I want to spend time on. I will go to palette. So palette will use a palette. So here is the default palette. You can also use your own ones. So here is my palette. And if you look here, so here I have not checked randomize, so it's taking things in linear order. So if the first color is here, you find it here, and then the next one, etc., and goes from probably the first cell here up to there. If you click randomize, it will pick random colors from this palette. So it's a huge palette, there's a lot of colors. Now, if you want more control on which color range are used from this palette, you can load a palette from file with a limited set of colors if you want to work with a limited palette. But you can also shift select a number of swatches here. And with command, you can add, I think you need to, yeah, you can add or remove some additional colors. So it's very, very flexible. You can really, so there's a little bug on preview here that you need to click again. So you see, this mode is very useful, I think, to colorize. If you undo randomize, it will again, I think, in the order that you selected, use the colors. Okay, so that was for palette. Randomized, I don't use. It's picking random colors, but it's not, you have no control over it. Intensity, I don't really know what it does. variations is one also quite nice. So if you go here, it's a little bit off-putting, and there's a lot of complex feature here. I will not go in all details. Again, I think we need to use the preview. So this mode is really great if you want to make subtle changes like monochrome, and you randomize. You can really have very nice subtle variations. So you can choose between various modes. It's a very, very deep colorizer mode. I think we could spend the whole video just on that. It's so sophisticated. So we can change which color it starts from. So a lot of possibilities here. And now I want to go back to region mode, which is very, very powerful. So we'll start here with taking a shape of ideally the same proportions as the repeater. So here it's a square repeater. I'm going to take a square shape. And I'm going to change the role of this shape. So using the object role here and going for filter image. If this doesn't show, you need to go in more roles and select filter image. So now I'm going back to the repeater and adjusting the colorizer and selecting this shape here that you use as a reference. And now you have this shape color controlling the repeater color. And again, you can adjust that with a lot of flexibility. So sorry, I was not selecting the shape here. And vary the angle, it reacts immediately. So no preview problem. It's really very, very flexible. We were talking about noise earlier. So VectorStyler has a lot of noise patterns, which I find absolutely fantastic. So you need to change the slider for it to appear. That's a bit strange, but that's the way it works. And here you have a lot of control because you can really see your reference picture and directly the effect it has on the image. With noise, what you can also do is browse noises. So it generates this panel of randomly generated noise patterns. You can pick one here and apply it. So it's it's not always predictable. You sometimes get the not exactly the same as on the preview, but you see you can really get absolutely great variations. The other nice thing about this, using an external reference, is you can also apply effects. So image effects here, so changing the pixel values. Let me take a hue adjustment here and start changing the hue. And so you can really generate a lot of variations very easily and with a lot of control. Change a little bit, adjust the, sorry, need to select the repeater. So you can use noise here. You can also use an external image. So let me take this one, for instance. So you notice this image is of a different aspect ratio as the repeater, which is square. So a nice trick which I just learned from one of the forum members is this one. So let's create a square shape and clip the image within the square shape. So you need to move the image then. All right, and now you can use the clipped shape as a reference image for your repeater. So let me move it here and assign it a filter image role. And now I will change the reference to use this flower. And so you can use this with pictures as well. You can also use the same reference or a different one to select the shapes. And so now on the brighter parts of the image, you have the square. On the darker parts, you get the circle. You could reverse it if you, maybe that's nicer. Let's try. That's another look. All right, so these are, I believe, very, very flexible ways to control the image. Another trick here, you can also use vectors. It doesn't have to be a bitmap. So let me maybe use, and I'll add a circle here. What I will do is group the two shapes here. And assign it the filter image role here. And now change my reference. And now you get this, the color being controlled by this. So let me remove the selection here. So what you can do now is really adjust very, very accurately what you want to do with the colors. You can even add a shape here. And really play with the with a lot of accuracy on how you want the repeater to color the shapes. All right, so I think we've covered everything for today. Very, very flexible way. I think the region mode is really one mode where you have a lot of precision in how you can color the different elements. And it's really something unique, I believe. Very difficult to achieve without a repeater and these coloring modes. If you wanted to do that manually, I guess it would be much more difficult. So I hope you learned something in this video, and see you next time. Thank you.